Well, this is exciting. Amazon have now delivered my Elgato 4KX capture card. This is one of Elgato's two top of the range capture cards that they have put out, and the other being the 4K Pro, which is an internal capture card. This is USB. The internal capture card allows you to record up to 8K 60, whereas this allows you to record up to 4K 144. So it depends on whether you want to focus on resolution or on FPS will determine whether you want to get the external USB or the internal 4K Pro. As you can see, I made my choice, so let's go ahead. We're going to get this unboxed together, see what's included, and then I'm going to walk you through my setup process, and hopefully it's going to be helpful to you guys as well. Now, I purchased this primarily to stream my PS5. Okay, so my PS5 is just behind us here. My streaming computer is right next to it. So I'm excited to really put this through its paces. So there are some simple setup instructions here, like a quick start guide that you can follow along with. Now, if you're familiar with the HD60X, then this is going to look very similar. The design is basically identical, outside of the fact that this is a little bit larger. So very simple design. On the back here, you can see we have the ports. In the middle here, we have USB-C. This is to connect to your computer. Over here, we have HDMI in, so the device you want to capture from, in my case, the PS5, will connect to this via HDMI. And then we also have the HDMI out as well. And this is if you want to go for the pass-through technology and make sure that you are gaming on a screen that is giving you that full resolution. Okay, so that's actually optional. If you want to just capture, you can actually play your game through your capture window, whether that be OBS Studio or the Elgato capture software. But back to the box, and let's see what cables we have here. So we have the USB-C cable, and this is actually fully braided, so a good quality cable right there. And we have a single HDMI cable. Now, what's fantastic, one feature here with the 4KX is that it does support HDMI 2.1. So it's important you are using cables that also support HDMI 2.1. Likewise, when connecting the USB-C cable to your PC, you want it to go into a port that supports up to 10 gigabits per second, i.e. a USB 3.2 Gen 2 port. Now, everything's backwards compatible, so if you don't have a port that supports those speeds, this can be connected into any other USB port, but obviously slower ports will give you slower results in terms of how high the resolution is you can capture, and also the lag as well, the latency as to what you are capturing compared to what you are actually seeing on your capture software. Right, so using the included HDMI cable, I'm going to connect one end into my PS5 and the other end into the port that's labelled HDMI in. So simple enough right there. Next up, I'm going to get the USB-C cable. So the USB-C port I have connected to is actually a 20 gigabits per second port, which is more than sufficient even for this highest rated capture card. So let's go ahead and plug that in here. And you can see now on the front, we can see the blue LED to indicate that we do indeed have power. And technically, I believe that's all we're going to need. Okie dokie, so I've got Streamlabs open here. I'm just going to go ahead now and turn on the PS5. And we'll see if the signal here pops up. I haven't actually tried this yet, so hopefully it will work here. And yeah, it looks like we're getting somewhere. Yeah, I've got a video. Okay. And I've got to say, the input latency here feels pretty much non-existent. Remember, this isn't passed through to my monitor directly from the capture card. This is actually me looking at the capture window now in Streamlabs. So yeah, I'm really impressed with that. Let me just show you that. If I bring the controller into view here. So as I move across the screen, button presses there, you can see just how responsive that actually is. So again, all that's left for me to do, completely optional if I want to do this, is on the HDMI out port, plug another HDMI cable into an external display. That way I can take full advantage of the pass-through, and that will allow me to play my games in HDR at max frame rates, even if I'm streaming at a lower resolution, for example. So yeah, fantastic capture device, really looking forward to putting it through its paces, and I hope this little setup guide has helped.